Hey guys, we're going to talk about elderberry today. Behind me I've got about 5 pretty good sized shrubs that I started from cuttings in about, well, it would have been the early spring of 2021. So we're on year 3 now, and they're doing amazing. So I am a big fan of elderberry, especially for people who are just getting started with plant propagation, because it's probably one of the most forgiving plants to work with, and it's one where you can allow yourself to relax and learn and make errors and know that you're probably almost certainly not going to kill your shrubs. And if you do, elderberry cuttings are easy to come by and easy to get reestablished again. So the variety I've got behind me were started from about 8-inch cuttings that I got from my friend Bridget, who lives up in northeastern Tennessee. I think they're Nova, but don't hold me to that. She didn't know. I've compared them to photos and such, and that's kind of where I came up with that thought. So when Bridget gave me the cuttings, I was like, okay, hey, how do I need to care for these? How do I need to get them established? And she said, take them home and put them in the ground. Literally, no rooting hormone, no special amendments, just put them in the ground and make sure they don't dry out. And since it's late winter in East Tennessee, we really don't have to worry about getting too dry. So I did, and they have gone crazy. In their first year, they put on about 4 feet of growth, and at this point they've got so many branches and so many new ones that have come up where they've laid on the ground and rooted themselves, that they're going to get a pretty good thinning, which is one of the reasons why I've got cuttings for sale. And the ones that I don't sell, I'm either going to give away or just establish elsewhere on the property and just have an empire of elderberry. So when you take these cuttings, it is a good idea to go right below the bud. Maybe not right below, but a couple inches below. So this here can become roots. Get that under the soil. You'll be good to go. If you get more of it under the soil, that is also cool. The more you have in the soil, the more roots you can create, and the more drought proof that plant will be. Technically you could bury most of this and just leave this much above the soil, and you will get elderberry. I wanted to show where these branches have laid on the ground. They've actually started to root themselves. So this was all under the mulch. These will just become roots. So it's just kind of good to keep in mind. You can layer these on the ground where you allow a branch to come into contact with the ground. You can maybe pin it down or hold it down with a rock if you want to, and let it root, and then you can cut it from the parent plant and very gently excavate those roots, and then you've got rooted elderberry. You've got a new shrub. It's a little more resilient than a cutting. But in my personal observations, whether I plant a rooted elderberry or start a cutting, the rate of growth, they catch up with one another. It's like the tomatoes that you baby in your greenhouse and the ones that come up in the compost. They catch up to one another, and one of them required almost no additional care or attention. Elderberry, of course, is known as kind of an immune boosting, I guess, natural med, you could say. I'm no doctor. I'm not even going to play one on the internet. So that's one of those things where you need to know what is in the active ingredient that is in the elderberry, and make sure that it's not going to interfere with anything to do with your health or the things that any medications you may take or supplements you may take. I mostly really just grow the elderberry to have the shrub layer in the food forest, to propagate the cuttings, and I leave most of them for the birds. We harvested a bunch and dried a bunch, but I had more than I really needed. So that's just kind of, I just view them as mostly a wildlife plant, and just kind of one of those plants that just makes me feel good to come out and hang out with. And I've noticed that once this thing fully leaves out, The rabbits really like to hang out underneath it, and they don't seem to be causing any damage to anything, so I'm good with that. So I just like them. You will find elderberry in the wild, often on creek banks, alongside roadways and the ditches. They're pretty resilient plants. They're not too picky at all. So when you have obtained your cutting, and here we go, and you have gotten it in the ground and you're wondering how it's doing, just look for new growth to come out. New growth does not necessarily mean that it is rooted yet, but it is still a good sign. And you can do these in pots as well. So if you don't, if you're either in a very small space where you can't really plant in ground, you can still do them in pots with a really good quality compost and soil mixture. And in terms of light, they're happy in full sun. But I do see them on forest edges, so they'll probably be okay with 5 or 6 hours of sun as well. Actually, where I'm behind here, late in the day, we have shade where these elderberry are, so they actually get a break from the shade cast by the shop late in the day, which I feel like is kind of the sun. Maybe it's just me, but late day sun feels actually maybe even a little harsher than the midday sun. That's what I got for you on elderberry. I'm sure I've forgotten things. I'm sure you guys are going to have questions, so you know how to get a hold of me. Leave a comment. Email me, strongrootsresources@gmail.com. And I've got plenty of cuttings available. I only prepare them once I've received an order. So if you want some, I can ship. I will usually ship in a flat rate envelope. I can fit about 20 or 30 cuttings into a flat rate medium-sized envelope. So just let me know. I'd be happy to see these elderberry pop up in other people's yards. And until next time, talk to you guys later.